So, if you guys don't know me, I'm Sarah. I'm from Promote Local. We do a lot of media support and other work for People First and other organizations. Today, my topic is we're going to cover tips and tricks for speaking on camera. It's an important topic because it's something a lot of people have either, maybe done in the past, will have to do. Maybe you've had to do a video interview or something like that in the past. That's all kind of relevant to that. So I'm going to pull up PowerPoint. Where did it go? Hmm. Oh, it's not going. That's weird. Yeah, I don't want my desktop. I want a file. Weird. Maybe I put it on my desktop. I don't remember if I did this last time. We'll just do that. That's really weird. Oh, there it goes. That's so strange. Okay. See if I can get the full screen. Okay, can everyone see that now? Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is our topic. And it won't let me advance. There we go. Okay, why are we talking about this? As I mentioned before, video is everywhere. You could have to record videos. Some of you have probably recorded videos for People First in the past. Not on this slide, but you could have to give a video interview, and you kind of have to know how to prep for that. But today we're going to talk about preparation when it comes to, like if you're filming, like creating a script, slowly talking through all of those topics, best way to voice on camera, all those different types of things. So next slide. Okay, so step one when preparing to talk on camera is knowing what you want to say. It's a lot less scary if you're not coming up with your topics right on the spot. And this again applies to, filming a video for whether it's for your organization, that's People First, or even for interview tips. Say you have a video or interview coming up, it's important to kind of, dive into what you want to say, like think of potential questions they could ask you and have like write down key points, right? Have any of you guys done that in the past? Have any of you guys made videos
Yeah,
before? I guess that's a good thing to ask.
yeah.
No.
Um, I have my own vlog on the Self-Determination YouTube channel, and I'll film myself. I don't know if Mira or Chaz or Ramsey have.
Cool. So
Um,
yeah,
I
it's
have my own YouTube thing. If
a
you
channel. That's cool.
want to see it, just search my name. Go on YouTube and search my name in the YouTube bar.
Oh, look at that. It looks like you have
Mm,
shorts. Do you make shorts?
Yeah, my
Nice.
video is like 30 minutes, so it's like short, very very short.
Nice. That's cool. Um, yeah, so back to this. Yeah, like so setting time to determine what your message is important. I screenshot this on here because I thought this is so Felicia films videos every other month or sometimes every month, and she'll write scripts for all of them, and then we'll like refine it. So she has kind of like a message of everything she wants to say. Those are the videos you've probably maybe seen on the Facebook page. They get pushed out. Um, So it's not like we get there, we film everything right away. That's all like preparation that goes into that. So that's the screenshot at least.
I love it when I love it when at the self-determination conference they um the roaming reporters um, like Sydney. I love it when they ask questions because honestly I I think about my answers first. Yeah.
Nice, as you should. It's cool, Ramsey.
I I I I just I I think I forgive me for being biased, but I think the Roman reporters and the people on the YouTube channel uh, are very underappreciated. So I just want to appreciate them and what they do. Yeah.
You're wondering how they do that? Is that what you said?
I just want to appreciate them and what they do because I think they're very underappreciated.
Yeah, he's saying they're unappreciated and he wanted to bring attention to them.
Oh, like the videos that are on the page.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure Felicia would love to hear that. Or the YouTube in general, if that's what you're talking about. Well, thank you, Ramsey. Okay.
I'm also talking about the roaming reporters at the SD conference because the people that do those stories they do such a good job.
Yeah, that's Susan who mainly does the ones for the like the keynotes and everything at the SD conference.
But
Well, she creates them, and then the people who film them, yeah, they did have nice stories this year though. Like, remember I saw some of them because I processed the videos on the back end, like Lindsay's and all the stuff that was pre-recorded in advance. It was really nice.
even Sydney Badu, she's a roaming reporter, and she is. Uh, I really appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Ramsey. Okay, so whoops. So back to refining your message. So once you kind of have a general idea of what you want to say for your video, shorten your message. Shorter is always better. You don't want to, kind of ramble on video. That's never a great thing because people, they have short attention spans for one. And then you kind of want to get to the main point early in your message. You don't want to talk for like a minute or so, without even like addressing your topic or point that you're crafting for your video. So, another thing is, as you guys talk about all the time, at least in People First, is writing like you speak. So using plain language is really important in your video or videos of what you want to convey. Okay, so once you craft your message or your key points, you'll want to rehearse your message multiple times. I thought this photo was kind of funny. Guy just practicing in front of the mirror. Maybe not like that, but you do want to practice what you want to say. So yeah, going through your message several times will help you prepare. The more prepared you are, probably the less anxiety you'll have about it. And then when it gets time to filming or your interview or whatever you're doing, since you've rehearsed it so many times in your head, even if you are nervous, you're less likely to stumble over what you're saying. Yeah, and be able to deliver your message clearly. Let's see. Okay, so another thing too, like when you're crafting a script, and after you're done and you're kind of running through it, like don't worry about your exact wording. You want to focus on knowing your message, not memorizing lines. So then if you're like saying something, you don't need to think about like, oh, I didn't say that exactly correctly. Even if you're ad-libbing just a little bit when you're talking it through to yourself, if it makes sense in your head, that's still okay. Sometimes when you write something down, I know if you guys have experienced this, if you like read it out loud, it sounds different than when you're writing it out on paper. You're like, oh, it might sound better if I did this instead. It's kind of the same thing when you're preparing to give a video message or video speech on camera. It might sound different. You don't want to sound so like you're just reading a piece of paper to the screen, right? That can be challenging too sometimes when you're recording a video and someone's feeding you lines. Again, you want to kind of think like what would sound best, delivering this message to the audience, not like these are my lines, this is what I have to say type of thing. It's different if you're in some kind of production, right? Or like script, or if that's something, then you'd have to get the message exactly right. But as long as it's kind of relatively close to what you want to deliver, that's fine for messaging. Whoops. You can practice by sending short videos to your family and friends. Yeah, it's a great way to get used to anything that scares you, especially if you have to make it on camera video. You could choose someone, a family member, friend, or coworker you feel comfortable with. This could be someone you think would give you nice, constructive feedback on your messaging, or tips on how to improve just the overall presence of your video or message. And then when you think of that person, you can make that video. I need to move this. For just that one person, doing this often, it can feel less scary if you're practicing and rehearsing. Do you guys like being on camera in general, or no? You guys don't mind it?
Honestly, no.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Just because I've done it a lot.
That's true. Yeah, see, sitting you practice.
Can you move me?
Yeah. Hang on a second. I'll mute you. There we go.
Okay, next. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about dressing to be on camera. And this is more for, this is not for like Zoom videos or anything, right? Like if you're doing a Zoom video, you can really only see your face for the most part. So it doesn't matter as much. But if you're gonna be, in a more of a sit down like production video, like, like Ramsey said, something they filmed for the SD conference, or even a short video that you're gonna publish on a page, probably want to look relatively nice. So I wrote for tips in here. If you're wondering how to be comfortable on video, think about what makes you feel comfortable in general. Like obviously you want to be comfortable in what you're wearing for filming day, but you don't want it to look out of place. You want to wear kind of like the right outfit. So if it was like a fancy formal thing, like an interview, you'd want to dress up for that. You wouldn't want to wear kind of like a slouchy t-shirt or top. So that's kind of what I meant about showing up for a fancy event wearing blue jeans and feel a bit out of place. Want to think about your audience and the purpose of your video and dress to that. So that's pretty simple. And then a few other things on that. Like I said, things that you feel comfortable in and make you feel confident. Also outfits that are authentically you. And a few things that are more video related. So solid colors tend to record well. So choose those when possible. For big videos, all white or all black outfits can kind of like throw off the white balance, or you could potentially blend into the background. So if you have a better idea, this is more like if you're filming something, where you're filming, that's kind of have an understanding of your surroundings when choosing what you're going to wear for your video. And then patterns overall sometimes show up weird in videos. They can create like distortion effects on camera. This is actually the same thing when it comes to photos as well. I don't know if you guys have ever taken a photo of yourself and you've seen like the stripes look weird afterwards. It can like blur or create like it's called like Maury effect. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. No. Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing with video, depending on it's like how the pixels capture certain things. So typically I think like solids or like simple, looks good for videos. Not like huge logos or anything all over as well. Okay, so we talked about like preparation. I just put that in there. Now we're going to talk about actually recording the video. It's kind of simple, but like keeping water on hand can be helpful. So if you're nervous, you have water. Plus, if you're going to film a lawn video, it's just helpful to have talk slower than usual. A lot of times when you're filming on camera, people are nervous and they have a tendency to talk really fast. This is common, obviously. I'm sure if you guys have known too, if you've done an interview, you just talk faster than normal. Yeah, it's like you have to remember to kind of like slow down and speak slower than you think you are normally, because chances are that's, better to get your message across and people can understand, instead of just rambling. The more I should say too, like the slower you talk, the more you're thinking through your words and what you want to say. So I wrote, yeah, like make yourself pause between thoughts. And also the slower you talk usually can typically make you feel a bit calmer. And you'll come off confident to your audience because you won't have like the nervous energy that goes with fast talking. Another thing is this is beneficial when it comes to editing. So this doesn't apply to, video interviews or anything that's live. Obviously not like if you're doing a presentation like this, it's live, so you can't, I'm not really going to cut this up much, but if you're making something that's going to go, say, on the People First channel or anything that's going to be later edited, say you were one of those people that's filming for the SD conference, you want to make sure that you're talking slower than usual and finishing your sentences so you can cut, or the editor, whoever's editing this, can cut between phrases in your video. If you kind of just ramble and everything's one sentence, that makes it a lot easier for either you if you're editing your video later on or whoever is editing it. So it's something to keep in mind when I film with people too. I'm like, okay, it's fine if you mess up, but you need to make sure you're at least finishing your sentence or redoing that, because you can't just piece every word together. Doesn't sound good or look good in the final result. There's only so much you can cover up. So okay, this one is about eye and lens contact. Somewhat self-explanatory, but when you're speaking on camera, you should be looking in the direction of the lens, or directly into it. That's something easy to do that people don't. They will look. I think it depends. Like if you have a multiple camera interview or like multiple angles, then that's different. But I think if it's just like a one-on-one, like you're the star of the show, it's just highlighting you. It doesn't look the best when you're looking off camera. So say someone's asking you questions and you're looking this way. For the final video, people want to or hoping that you're talking directly to them instead of like to the side. So that's really important when it comes to video. Yeah, and kind of the same thing that we mentioned or that I mentioned before, all the prep that goes in this. Once you practice what you want to say, your like keywords, that's helpful so that you won't stare directly at your notes the entire time. And even the same thing, so like if someone's feeding you lines, this is common in video, you still want to make sure you're looking in camera, not like at that person. Yeah, and then kind of what I mentioned before, it'll make you appear more confident and knowledgeable if you're speaking to an interview or person off camera. I know I'm guilty of this too in past interviews. I've definitely had notes or been like looking at things. It's like, okay, this is my key points, right? But that doesn't mean you want to stare at your notes the entire time instead of the person, because you kind of have to really rehearse and memorize, in a sense, at least what you want to say, because it'll help you to engage with that person and make you seem more authentic. Let's see, next. Yeah, and then don't be afraid to go off script. As I mentioned before, you don't want to be so off script that your messaging is completely altered. But if you're okay with modifying some sentences while you're talking, that's not always a bad thing as long as your message is clear. Yeah, it's better to go off script than staring at your notes the entire time. And I put Ashley in here. I found that clip from my hard drive. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I was like, also she does a lot of on-camera stuff, so that's what I am. I'm like,
Yeah.
apparently now you, Sydney, too. I'm like, I don't know that I mean, you do these, but do you do a lot of like pre-recorded film stuff?
A lot of it. With the YouTube channel, Susan usually sends us a script to practice like a week or two before we do any of the videos. And I mean, with my vlogs, I don't really rely on a script totally, because Susan doesn't want me standing out in the yard looking at a piece of paper. She wants me to know what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Very true.
But something I've found with Zoom is I tend to look at look at the little screen that has my own
like
picture.
the image,
So that's
and
why
not
I'm always
actually
looking to the side. And so I have to move that little thing to the center of the screen. Otherwise I look funny.
That's fair. I mean, like for stuff like this, I feel like it doesn't always matter, but again, when you're, like pre-recording something on Zoom, that's, yeah, that's something obviously too, like during the pandemic or when everything was shut down and we were just doing Zoom videos, I definitely noticed that a lot, because like you said, people have their webcams sometimes in like either different positions or they're like they're like, well, I want to read my notes on the thing while I film this. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But like, you can noticeably see that you're looking down. So yeah, that's kind of like what I mentioned. So wherever your lens is, like eye contact and for those type of things is important. If it's important video, if it's just you're talking to someone briefly, that's not terrible, but yeah, for sure. Okay, so and then this slide is kind of like staying authentic to you. Just because you're going on camera does not mean you have to turn into like a newscaster or some other personality. People want to see kind of the authentic you and hear your message as you would present normally, and maybe just a slightly more professional and refined way. And then, yeah, I said part of being a memorable speaker has to do with communicating from the heart. It's better to let yourself shine through rather than try to be something you're not, even if it's what you think people want to hear or see in your message. I think it's funny because we film with Cindy all the time, and I'm sure you guys have seen her say this as well. She's like, "Oh no, I don't want to speak my script. I just want to speak from the heart." Have you guys ever heard her say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but yeah, it makes it more authentic, it's just not like a staged completely, we don't always let her do that all the time if there's some things that she really needs to get across in a video, but the more natural it is, the more relatable it is. So yeah, I don't know, it's not there, but what I said is final point is people care about connection and can only be achieved when you're bringing your authentic personality to screen. And then when you're filming, it's easy to stress yourself out, but you shouldn't worry about the little mistakes. It's common to make mistakes when you're filming a video. Everyone does that. It's not as dire as it sometimes feels. Stumbling over a word or two can sometimes make you, it makes you look more human and can make people relate to you. So it's not like you have to be a robot and completely get your lines right speaking on script. It's okay if you, like I said, ad lib, make some mistakes. It's okay. And sometimes that can be edited out. And I guess that's it. It's a lot shorter than I thought, or maybe we went through those slides faster. That's okay. We can talk about just video in general or any video things you guys want to know. Whether that relates to speaking on camera or prepping for filming or anything about the process. I do a lot of that, so that could be interesting. Or you guys can be free to go early, depending on what you would like to do.
Yeah, we can ask questions. Yeah, it's been a while since I did a vlog episode. I think I last did it in the summer. So I gotta start practicing with that again. But yeah, I just been too busy.
What do you vlog on?
Disability advocacy. I think, yeah, it's if you go to the self-determination YouTube channel, it has its own category.
Oh, okay.
My animals are all in there.
That's fun.
Yeah. Mira, do you have any questions since you do a little bit of filming?
Yeah, what are the filters when you film?
Like on what specifically? Like a specific platform or?
Yeah,
If you're on Instagram or something like that, they often have, filters that you can scroll through. Is that kind of what you mean?
yeah.
Or that could be something that you add later on when you're editing a video, maybe as well. You can do pretty much almost anything with editing and post-production. But yeah, if you want to film directly onto something and you want to filter, it's typically on Instagram or TikTok or something like that.
Yeah, small group today. Yeah, Ramsey had to take a call, I think. But a very important topic.
Yeah, I know it's kind of general and broad, but that's useful for at least multiple things, is, prepping for a video. Hopefully, I mean, I'm assuming a lot of you will have to do that at some point, so it's not something that no one does, at least.
Yeah.
Anything else? You guys just want to chill? I'm like, happy, what's today? Oh, it's Tuesday.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's cold and it's snowing, so
I'm like, we only have 3.5 more days until the weekend.
yeah,
You guys ready for the holidays and all that?
yes and no. Ready for a break, but I don't have any. I have to start Christmas shopping.
Did you realize you're still recording?